Hey y'all, what's up? It's Tasia and I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Netflix original Bird Box. So just a quick disclaimer, if you've never seen the movie Bird Box, I don't suggest watching my review because I do give out spoilers that kind of ruin the movie if you've never seen it. This movie just recently came out. Everybody's talking about it on social media, everybody's going crazy on social media, and I've seen a whole bunch of memes, a whole bunch of gifs, and I'm just like, yo, what is this movie? So I watched it for the first time yesterday on Christmas, and movie was good. So I just want to run through some things in the movie and then, you know, talk about it with you guys and hear you guys comments and feedback, and you know, let's see how this goes. So without further ado, let's get into the video. But before we get into the video, you know what I want you to do. You have 3 things to do. Okay, so here's the first one. 1, like the video. 2, comment down below anything that you liked in this video, maybe your opinions, your ideas, how you like my editing skills. I don't know, whatever you want to comment. Maybe I like my earrings, I don't know. And then the 3rd thing you have to do is subscribe. That keeps you in the loop with everything that I post. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the video. So let's start with the beginning. Okay, so the first shot we see is of Sandra Bullock talking to her 2 kids, boy and girl. And she's just basically explaining to them like what's going down, what's about to happen, and that part was so intense. Like, I'm just like, the whole time sitting there, I'm like, okay, like, what the hell? I like how they transition between the past and the present so you can understand the storyline without them taking like a whole 20 minutes to explain the past and then transition to the present. I like how they just transition 5 minutes past, 5 minutes present, boom, 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 just going back and forth. I was really confused, like, what is this thing that they're looking at that's making them go crazy? Because I'm like, what is it? What the heck? And then it turns out, I guess it was the light. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a creature. We never get to see the creature, but basically the light, once they look into the light, their eyes crystallize and they start to go crazy and you want to kill themselves. I don't know if y'all are with me on this, but the character that I hated the most was Olivia. I'm sorry, but I hated her because, 1, she let that freaking guy in who damn near killed off the whole cast. And then 2, like, her character, she was just so soft and like always complaining and just always feeling sorry for herself. Like, this is a time of crisis. This is a crisis. Like, I don't like her character. Like, she was just giving me bad vibes the whole movie, and she was so gullible. Like, really, we've been telling you this whole time not to look into the light, and you're gonna look into the light. So yeah, she deserved to die, but Charlie did not deserve to die. But he's a real one because he sacrificed his own life for others in the grocery scene. So damn, it's so sad. He was the second one to go. Oh, God. Alright, so let's switch over to Mallory, Sandra Bullock, which is the protagonist. Alright, so in the beginning we see her painting these dark paintings. Like, every painting has like a black background. We see 3 paintings. We see 1 painting with like a girl with a light shining on her, and the light kind of resembles like hope, but still the painting is still very dark and sad. It's just one lonely girl's like in a sulking position. And the 3rd painting we see is she's in the darkness by herself, isolated. So you know how they say like a painter or an artist or anybody, they paint, or a musician, they paint based off their feelings, and they paint or express how they feel based off of what they've been through. So I definitely believe that all this stuff in the beginning, like, you know, the beginning is key, like major key. Like, when you watch a movie, pay attention to the beginning because that really helps you to understand the story and what's going on. So we see all these dark paintings. It really helps us to understand Mallory's character, that she's depressed, she's lonely, and she has this inability to love others. And it's really funny that being able to go through this journey through the river with the kids, survival of the fittest, it really shows her how to love and how to connect with others. Then the birds. I didn't understand what the birds signified until the very end. We first got like a little glimpse of what the birds represented when we went to the supermarket, and then the fish fingers, he was like trying to push open the door and he like almost got himself inside the supermarket, and the birds just started going crazy, like they were about to fly out of the cage somehow, some way, like they were going crazy. And so the birds kind of signifies dangers ahead. When she told the two kids, like, one of you has to look, and looking, we all know looking means dying, and then her son volunteered, like, okay, I'll do it, and she's like, no, I'll pick. And then like a few minutes later, you see the little girl, she's just like, eyes are welding up, she's just like, oh my god, she's like, all right, she steps up to the plate, she's like, I'll do it, and then she's like, no, I'll choose. Oh my god. And then at first I'm like, she's gonna make the little girl do it, because the little girl did not come out of her. And I'm sorry, you know, when it's not your child, it's true, like you kind of don't really have those same feelings as to when it is your child. So I really thought, damn, she's gonna pick the girl, because that girl didn't come out of her. But at the same time, she still had to think about the time that she interacted with her mom, Olivia, please protect my child. So then that scene came into her head, and she was just like conflicted, like, dang, I don't want to put my own son, but then again, I don't want to let Olivia down. So when she said none of it, nobody's looking, I was like, so what y'all about to do? Because you're gonna need to see. They said it was a bumpy, rough road. Like, how are you gonna get through? How are you gonna do it? So they made a way. Somehow, some way, we made it. And you know what really, oh my god, I'm like, those kids was in the like the boat tumbled over. Yo, my heart, I just was like, oh my god, I would have been like, yo, I would have lost it. If my kids went under those rough ass waters, deep ass waters, no kids swimming skills are up to par to really partake in those type of waters. Like, not even, I'm a good swimmer and I couldn't even so I would have been panicking. Oh my god. So that scene had me on edge. I was like, when that boat tumbled over, I was like, oh my god, it's over, it's over. But then the kids somehow, some way, they like made it. The boy, he was on the rock, and then the girl, she was like washed up on shore, and I was just like, yo. The whole time you're watching the movie, like, you're just like on the freaking edge of your seats, like you're like, oh my god, what's happening, what's gonna happen next? Like, it was crazy. But I like the message that the movie conveys, because it's like, it kind of relates to today's society. So now let's talk about how this monster, or whatever this force, affects people. So we noticed that there was 2 different effects. So for, I guess, happy, we would call normal people, they turned into like sad and like depressed individuals who killed themselves. Literally, we seen Jessica, Mallory's sister, when she seen the creature or the force, her eyes crystallized and she walked right in front of her. She got sad. She looked at her sister, got sad, and then she walked right in front of a bus. We see the people who are not affected by this force, and the guy in the suit kind of explained that people who were from the mental asylum, people, I don't want to like get bashed for this, but this is just how the movie basically betrayed it. Like, it was saying people who are mentally ill, who come from the mental asylum, who probably have already, you know, played out their worst fears of killing, of, you know, being violent. Not saying that mentally ill people are violent, but just saying that these type of people may have already indulged in their deepest, darkest fears or desires, and so when force took over, they kind of just became like mellow and happy, and like, I want everyone to see this beauty. Like, it was weird. And let's go to the end. We started to see that once they get to like the school for the blind, Mallory actually shows compassion to her children and actually gives the children's names for the first time and says, "I'm your mother." Basically see that Mallory learned her lesson, that, you know, she is capable of loving, and it's not a bad thing to love others, and it doesn't have anything negative associated with loving somebody.